here's a very interesting finding, and it has to do with the point when you're dating somebody, when you really are starting to fall in love with that person, but you're not sure, is this person also falling in love with you? How do you handle that situation? You're starting to fall in love with somebody. What you really want to do is say to this person, I really want a commitment from you. I really want us to be exclusive so that you're not seeing other people and dating other people, and I'm not also. So I need that from you. What can you expect? Well, it turns out, let's take the situation of men and women, heterosexual, straight men and women in this situation. And a woman is starting to fall in love with a guy, and she's worried. She's not sure whether he's really ready for that commitment. What should she do? How should she handle it? Well, here's a very interesting piece of data. When a man commits to a woman and just says, you're the one, I want to date you exclusively, I'm willing to make that commitment, his level of testosterone drops dramatically. So making a commitment drops his sexual interest. When he becomes a father, the same thing happens. As soon as his baby is born, his level of testosterone drops. So what's going on there? What's happening? Because to make a commitment is terrifying, right? Making a commitment means you're yielding your power. You've now given up your freedom. It's a really big decision to make, right? Actually, you should be worried if your partner can do this easily, because it's a big transition to go from dating and interest to actually saying, you're the one, to make that commitment. I don't want to see anybody else but you, because it's giving up a lot of power. And that's a commitment that is very hard for people to make, and especially for men to make, because it drops their testosterone. Testosterone is a source of power. So research shows that if a man is actively pursuing a goal which requires active, aggressive action, he doesn't want to lose his testosterone. That's a bad time to ask for a commitment. And yet, that loss of power, that commitment, really does something very powerful for a man. It gives him a sense that he can trust his partner. Because when she's asking for exclusivity, and he's willing to give exclusivity, he knows he can trust her. She's not going out and looking for other people. She's not going to cheat on him. So there's a really interesting thing about testosterone and commitment that becomes very, very important. So it becomes important for her to really wait and give him the space to make that choice, because it's a big choice. It really changes a man a great deal. So that's in the straight world. Now, what about in the same-sex world? What's this commitment like? And again, you want testosterone to be high, if you're a woman or a man, because, that's the basis of lust and great sexuality, right? And yet, that commitment is going to drop testosterone. But it allows the hormone oxytocin, the bonding hormone, to then increase and create this sense of peace and security in the relationship. The hormone oxytocin, the bonding hormone, is the hormone of trust. And Paul Zak, who's done this very interesting research on oxytocin, the hormone of trust, the molecule of trust, right? In the trust game, where you're given money, two people are given money, and, let's say that I'm playing this game with my wife, Julie. We're each given $10 to start. If I give her $5, in this game it triples. So she gets $15 if I give her 5. If she gives me 5 back, if I give her 5, I'm left with $5. I started with 10. I give her 5. I'm left with 5. She has all of her 10 and now 15. So she has $25, right? Now, if she gives me $5, it triples for me. And then, I have my original $5 and 15. So I have 20. And she's given me 5. So she has 20. Kind of cool, that giving in this game. And it's called a trust game for that reason. Well, think about this. If we both trust each other, I can give her all of my $10, right? And that becomes $30. Now she has $40, right? If she gives me all of her $40, it triples and I get 120. She has nothing and I get 120. But if I share with her, that 120 becomes 60 for each of us, right? So complete trust, we can actually get our $10 up to $60. Now, most people only give $5 in this game, which is not very logical, right? It's sort of medium trust, which is what people have with one another when they're not in a committed relationship. When they're in a committed relationship, they can earn the maximum, $60 each. So what's that dependent on? The hormone of oxytocin. So if I spray oxytocin up my nose, and that's what Paul Zak has done, I'm going to give more money because there's more trust. Because oxytocin reduces fear. It calms the amygdala, and we have less fear and more trust. So when you spray oxytocin up both people's nose, they wind up giving more money in the trust game. You maximize the trust chemically, right, by spraying oxytocin up people's nose. Well, Paul Zak has found he gets the same result with a 20-second hug. You don't have to spray oxytocin up people's nose. Just have them hug each other for 20 minutes, even people who don't know each other, and then they give more in the trust game. So that commitment that is made, testosterone goes down. There's a loss of control. Sex drive goes down. But oxytocin comes in and creates the sense of safety and trust in the relationship. And that's the way these hormones work together to create trust or fail to create trust if there's not this decision to commit.